Most Americans are broke with little to no savings and little to no investments. Let's call that the facts. But then if we take a look at the emotion, those facts don't stop many Americans from buying the Gucci, from buying the vacations that they can't afford. Now, at first glance, you might say this doesn't make any sense. If you don't have any money, you shouldn't be spending money. But many of us are taught and bred to live and spend and operate emotionally. Now, at first glance, this is not going to make any sense because the facts show you you're broke. But the emotions say, I deserve something nice. And the reason why so many people are operating emotionally right now, particularly, is because money has been hard. I mean, inflation has hit many Americans hard. The economy, while the numbers say everything is great, some people just haven't seen that great boom in the economy. People talk about how wealth has skyrocketed in America. Well, that wealth has only skyrocketed if you own those investments. And so if we look at the average person who's just working a job, who doesn't own investments, well, chances are you're worse off now than you were a few years ago. And if that's the case and you're working hard, sometimes you just want a little dopamine hit to feel good, to feel a little bit better, because you feel like you worked so hard, so you deserve these nice things. And this has been fueling a lot of people spending money they don't have on things that are not making them any money. And sometimes you're spending money you don't have on these things, because sometimes you just want that big TV. Sometimes you just want that vacation. Sometimes you just want to have that nice shirt or purse or car. Now the problem here is it's very difficult to speak facts or logic to somebody who's operating emotionally. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have little savings, you have no investments, and then I tell you that you need to stop spending so much money, you have to cut back on your expenses, you have to work to get a raise, maybe you get a second job that way you have some more money, what are you gonna say? You don't get it, Jaspreet. It's easy for you to say you have money. Not everybody can do what you did. Not everybody can start a YouTube channel. Not everybody can start a business. It's a different economy now. And you know what? You're 100% right. I don't know your situation. I have been extremely fortunate and lucky to see success with my business and my investments. And you're completely right that it's a different economy now than 3 years ago, than 10 years ago. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. And here's what else I know, is that if you dismiss any opportunity, any different form of thinking than what you have, it is going to be impossible for you to break out of the situation that you have. They say that the definition of insanity, I know you've heard this, but just stick with me. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing every single day and expecting a different result. Well, the problem, the reason why so many people go insane is because they're so scared and stuck in their emotional thinking to try something different, to try to listen to some different line of thinking, to try to listen to somebody who maybe has seen that success. And you can start to see why that's difficult, because it's hard. It's going to feel uncomfortable, because that means maybe you're wrong. Maybe you need to do something different. And that is not easy. For number one, nobody wants to admit that they're wrong. Nobody wants to say that they're wrong. And making a change is hard. I mean, even moving a house is hard, because now you got to figure out how you're going to get to work from a new location. You got to figure out how you're going to find the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's hard. Every sort of change is hard. But changing your life is extremely difficult, which is why so many times we get caught up in the emotion of just assuming everybody else is wrong, and I'm just stuck here because the universe wants me to be stuck here. But nobody wants you to be broke. You being broke is not good for you. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your community. It's not good for your spiritual health. It's not good for anything in the world. It's not even good for the government. Nobody wants you to be broke. I mean, I guess, yeah, companies want you to be broke because you spend all of your money. The government profits when you're broke because you pay the highest taxes and you're going to be stuck in student loans. And yeah, I get that. But it's not good for you to be broke. And so if you're in that position right now and you feel like you're struggling with money, let me just give you the reality, that way you can understand and do whatever you want with it. The reality is, when you are broke, you are making everybody else rich. Because when you're broke, that means you've spent all of your money. And when you're in debt, that means you've spent money that you don't have. And now when you spend that money, somebody else is earning that money. Right? When you're spending all that money on your rent, when you're spending all that money on your Gucci, when you're spending all that money on your vacations, when you're spending all that money in your car, those companies are making the money, plus your bankers. And they're making it because you worked hard to earn that money and you've spent all that money. And so if you don't want to live like this for the rest of your life, you have to make a change. Because if you don't make a change, nothing's going to change. In fact, the only thing that will change is it's going to get harder. The reason why it's going to get harder is because, number one, inflation is not going away. Things aren't just going to magically change. And you're going to be going deeper and deeper down this financial hole. So now you got to pick your hard. It is hard to be broke, and it is very hard to make a change. Now you got to figure out, which hard do you want to do? Do you want to stay in that hard of just being struggling financially and just barely getting by? Or do you want to make the hard of, I'm going to now make some sacrifices. I'm going to find a way to cut back. Maybe I'm going to live in a smaller house. Maybe I'm going to downsize my car. Maybe I'm going to stop going on these vacations. Maybe I'm going to downgrade on my Gucci. Maybe I'm going to sell some of my luxury stuff. And that's difficult. But you got to get out of the operating emotionally. Stop getting angry at anybody or anything that has a differing opinion than you. And now, learn. Learn. Work to learn. And try something else. Because the worst thing that can happen is you fail. But you can always go back to where you are and just learn. Start absorbing different pieces of information and start seeing how you can break out of your own mold. How you can break out of where you are right now, because some people, or a lot of people, are scared to tell you this. They just want you to feel okay. They don't want to hurt your feelings. But the reality is, if you want to get out of the situation that you're in, you're going to have to make a change. That change is difficult. But if you're willing to make a change, then you'll be able to potentially see that success as well. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.